have a just because video for you today. So yeah, this is a just because video. This is a 12 by 12 scrapbook layout, and I had this really fun idea using these new stamps from Crafty Jen Scow, and I wanted to play and to do them. I'm hoping to be able to bring you more videos like this that are just me playing, that aren't for a design team or a specific hop with a theme or anything like that. I really just want to be able to bring you a couple videos that are just because videos, like this one. So I'm going to start by taking the branding strip off of this cardstock. This is a piece of Basil Marshmallow cardstock, so it's a nice thick white cardstock, which is okay because we're going to be putting, we're going to do some inking on it, and I wanted to make sure that I had a nice heavy cardstock that would take the ink. So I'm using my 12 by 12 Misty, and I'm going to use these stamps. These are the peony stamps from Jen Scow. She recently released a whole set of really, really cute stamps. And I got 3 sets. So I have this one, and then you saw the other 2 that I purchased on my haul video from a couple days ago. And actually, there was like a mix-up in my order, and Jen actually sent me this peony stamp for free, which was amazing, and I love her, so that was super sweet of her. I am using Ulta Permanent Black ink, which is like my go-to ink for things like this. I'm going to stamp all of these flowers a couple of times, I think 2 or 3 times, till I get a really nice black crisp image. And you can see here I'm at the very last one. Now, for whatever reason, my Misty was mad at me because I hadn't used it in a while, and as I haven't been stamping, which is terrible, right? But that's part of the reason why I want to start doing more just because videos, because I really want to start using products that I am buying because I love them, and then they don't ever seem to fit in with some of my design team projects. But my paper shifted just ever so slightly, and honestly, I'm okay with it, and you'll see why as I continue down my idea for this layout. I'm also going to go ahead now, and I'm going to stamp 3 of these peony images separate from the border down my layout. And then I'm going to go ahead again, I'm going to stamp all these images 2 or 3 times so I get nice crisp black images. And then I'm going to let them all, I set them all aside to dry. The Ulta Permanent ink dries beautifully, but you have to, like, it has to dry. So I went ahead and I dried it really, really good. And then I'm going to come back in with the colors. So this peony stamp, the color, you can add color to the flowers, but the color, the layering pieces that you put on top of the flowers aren't exact. They're almost just like little blobs, and you like fit them in. And so I went ahead and I grabbed 3 shades of this aqua or tealy color. This aqua tealy color is in my photo, and the products that I picked out to use with the stamp are also in these like teal aqua colors, and so those are the colors that I really wanted to do. This layout is going to be primarily monochromatic. There is a little bit of other colors in it, but primarily we're dealing with shades of this teal, and then a little bit of blues and a little bit of greens. So you can see here how I'm going to go about doing this. I'm just going to find areas where I like where the blobs look, and then I'm going to alternate between my 3 colors and get all of these flowers in, give them color. I'm not coloring in all of the flowers. Some of them will continue to just be black and white. I liked how they contrasted off the color, and I thought it was a really cool look. And then I went through with some green. This is lime and fresh leaf inks. All the inks I'm using are from Ulta. So if you have any questions about colors, I think the teal colors were Lagoon Volcano Lake, and I don't remember the third one, but it might be Caribbean Sky. But if you have any definite questions about colors, just leave me a link or leave me a question down below and I'll get back to you. Okay, so I am now going to flip over. The border's done, and then I'm going to color. I colored in all of those flowers exactly like I colored in the border on the big paper, and now I'm going to take a shimmer marker. This is a Wink of Stella shimmer pen, and I'm just going to go over these flower clusters, just these loose ones, not the ones that were on the background paper, and I'm going to color them in with the shimmer to give them some sparkle and shine, and then I'm just going to go ahead and fussy cut them out, those flowers out. Those are going to be part of our layouts, almost like an embellishment. So now you can see off to the right that I have gone ahead and fussy cut out the stamped flowers that I used the shimmer on, and now I am going to fussy cut this border. So I'm not cutting the entire border, I'm just cutting the edge off, and this is why when I stamped the border, why I put the border kind of in a little bit on my paper, because I knew that I wanted to do this. Okay, so I have this piece of paper. This is from Cocoa Vanilla Studios Happiness Collection, and I'm going to show you a neat little trick that you can do with a 12 by 12 Misty that I think is kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put adhesive all down this border, and you can see I kind of messed up the back of this paper. Also, for whatever reasons that I don't even understand, my camera decided to make this part blurry. I don't know why, and I don't know what happened. Because like part of it, you can see like off to the side, the fussy cut flowers are totally in view, and I feel like there maybe that something got onto a part of my lens, I'm not sure. But it wasn't terrible, so I just went with it after I saw the footage. So you can see here I lined up that scrap of paper, and then I'm putting the white piece down, and then I have a 12 by 12 piece that comes in from behind my picture and comes in from behind that border, and then I put some foam adhesive on some of the bits that were sticking out so it has some depth and dimension and looks really cool, and it's lined up perfectly to 12 by 12, and I used my Misty to be able to get it perfectly aligned. I'm not going to waste any of this, so I pulled the scrap off the back of my 12 by 12 sheet, and now I'm trimming this off because I wanted a little bit of that green paper on both sides of my layout. And then my photo is going to go right here, and then these little pieces. So I'm going to put foam tape or foam pop dots on the back of all of these pieces. I've already chosen my title, and I like my photo placement there, so I'm going to go ahead and commit to my photo. I'm going to try to get it a little bit centered, but a little bit more towards the top than towards the bottom, because I know I want to embellish a little bit more towards the bottom. This is from the 6x8 paper pack from Cocoa Vanilla's Happiness Collection, and I'm going to kind of trim off just about a 1-inch strip of paper, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just put a diagonal cut on one end so it kind of looks like a piece, like a ribbon piece. And then, silly me, I should have realized I wanted to do this before I glued my picture down. But we got there. And so that's going to be my title with that little background paper piece, and I love it. There will be an abundance of tiny foam dots in my next couple of layouts because I'm out of all my large foam dots. I don't have any more, but I have a bumper crop of these small ones. So next couple of videos you're gonna see me like be all about the tiny foam squares. Insert facepalm. They were a labor of love, I tell you. So you can see there I have one of my stamped flowers off to the left, and then off to the right I have layered up the flowers onto foam squares. And they're just giving it, and I've layered them on top, so it didn't matter that that bottom stamping shifted ever so slightly because you can't even see it, really. And now I'm adding these two pieces from the ephemera pack. I'm just going to layer them up at the bottom, and you can see off to the side how I've chosen some embellishments. I have some of the fussy cut flower or butterflies because I fussy cut like that whole paper of butterflies. So I have all of those, and then I have some of these watercolor looking flowers and leaves because I felt like they went with the style and design of the stamp set. And so I am going to use, I think I use all of these. I also have this little heart, and I just have one of those. So I'm going to put that right up at the top by my title. Since I only have one, I didn't want it to be something that was sprinkled around because there's only one that color that I had left in my pack. And so now we're going to add all these adorable butterflies. So I'm just going to tuck them in. I'm going to tuck the flowers, and I'm going to tuck all these leaves. And I'm sorry, my son is behind me typing, and I'm going to just pop these at different places. I'm trying to get the green ones and the teal ones. I don't want them really close to each other, so I'm trying to distribute the colors evenly. I talk about that all the time, about how I really like to have my colors distributed throughout my layout and represented throughout my layout. And I also like to have a limited color palette. Sometimes it doesn't work that way, but that's kind of my goal, I guess. And so now I am going to go ahead and put all of these down. And again, you don't want to watch this. I popped out all of these butterflies, just like I'm showing you here, with all these teeny tiny little foam dots. I use the big ones too fast. That's really what it is. I use the big ones right away, and then I get stuck with like tons of these teeny tiny ones. So I'm just going to continue on here, put everything down, and then I'm going to grab these gorgeous Ride the Tide sequins from Spiegel Mom Scraps. And I'm not picking all the colors, I'm just pulling out, they had the most perfect teal colors in this collection, so I'm just pulling out the teal colors that go with the colors I've chosen to do my stamping in, and I'm going to sprinkle them in amongst all those butterflies and stamped images. And that's going to complete this layout. Thank you so much for joining me today for a Just Because layout. I hope you enjoyed my process, and I hope you'll stop back again soon. Bye!